All right, so for today's deep dive, I've got to start with something that just jumped out at me. I'm looking at a receipt here for a single cable, the PureLink EZH8-100-DT, and the price is $1,599.
And 99 cents. Can't forget those.
Right. Even with a 5% off code, I mean, that is just a wild amount of money for what looks like a wire.
Hmm.
My first thought was, okay, this had to be some kind of marketing gimmick.
Yeah, that's the natural reaction.
But then I started looking at the specs, and this isn't really a cable, is it? Not in the way we think of one.
No, and that's the mental hurdle you have to get over right away. If you're comparing this to the HDMI cord you grab at the checkout counter, the price is, it's insane.
Of course.
But this is a 100 meter, that's 328 feet HDMI 2.1 solution. It's built for what the pros call critical installations.
So the mission here is basically to figure out how you get an 8K signal from one end of a football field to the other without it just completely degrading into, I don't know, digital noise.
That's it, exactly. And the engineering behind that is, it's immense. You're up against what I like to call the data hose problem.
The data hose problem. Okay.
To get a full, uncompressed 8K signal running at 60 frames a second.
You need a huge pipe for the data. It's massive bandwidth. I see it here. 48 gigabits per second.
A torrent of data. And if you try to push that much information through a standard copper wire for 100 meters, well, physics says no.
Right. The signal just dies.
It just dies. You get resistance, you get what they call sparkle on the screen, dropouts, or most likely just nothing, a black screen.
Which explains why this PureLink cable isn't copper at all. It's fiber optic, an active optical cable.
Right. It takes that electrical HDMI signal, converts it into little pulses of light, and sends it down a glass fiber.
And light doesn't really care about distance in the same way.
Not at all. It can carry that full 48 gigs, the dynamic HDR, the full 4.4.4 color. All of it arrives with zero loss. The image is identical.
Okay, so that's the core tech. But honestly, the thing that made me go, aha, wasn't just the fiber. It was an installation feature. These detachable TXRX connectors.
Oh, yeah. If you talk to any professional integrator, that is the feature that saves them. That's the one that stops them from throwing their tools across the room.
Because an HDMI head is, it's big and bulky.
It's super wide, and the conduit pipe inside a wall is really narrow. Trying to pull a standard HDMI connector through a tight corner is a total nightmare.
You'll snag it or just break it.
Exactly. With this, you literally pop the bulky HDMI housing off, and you're left with just the thin fiber cable. You pull that through easily and just snap the connector back on.
That's incredibly clever.
It turns a really high-risk, stressful job into something routine. And speaking of risk, the other part of that price is durability. Fiber is glass, it can be fragile.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. You can't just bend it sharply.
Usually no. But this is rated for a bending radius of 45 millimeters, so you can actually flex it around corners in a wall without snapping the core.
Wow. Okay. And it's plug and play. It's got a 3-year warranty.
Yeah.
And I see it needs no external power.
Nope. It just sips the tiny bit of power it needs, about 250 milliwatts, right from the HDMI port itself. No extra plugs or wall warts needed.
Super convenient. And I see it covers all the modern protocols, too. HDCP 2.3, EARC support.
All the critical stuff. HDCP for copy protection, EARC for sending high-end audio back to your receiver.
Yeah.
But the real unsung hero there is the self-detecting EDIDE.
EDIDE, remind me.
Extended Display Identification Data. It's the digital handshake. It's the TV telling the video source, hey, this is who I am, and these are the resolutions I can handle. Long cables are notorious for messing that up.
And this one just ensures that conversation happens perfectly every time.
Instantly.
Every time. So when we circle all the way back to that $1,600 sticker shock, you're not paying for a wire. You're paying for certainty.
That's the word, certainty. If you're installing a commercial cinema or a multi-million-dollar home theater, the cable is the absolute last place you want to cut corners. It's the infrastructure that makes the whole system work.
It's the special road you need to make sure the Ferrari can actually hit its top speed.
That's a perfect analogy.
It does make you wonder, though. With where we're going, 8K, 16K, high-fidelity VR, are we just seeing the absolute end of copper for high-end video? Is it becoming obsolete for home entertainment?
I think we might be. The physics of copper just can't scale with the amount of data we want to move. We are very quickly moving into the age of light.
Literally a bright future, then. Thanks for breaking down the specs with us. We'll catch you on the next one.